That was Angels, the latest single from the Forever Party, and I'm absolutely delighted to be chatting to Finn from the band. How are you, mate?
Good. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Great to see you. So you reminded me just then, before we get properly in the interview, we were scheduled to catch up 18 months ago at the Nanup Festival, but that never happened. Tell us why that never happened, mate.
I left Mark hanging. Occasionally at these festivals, especially the first time you play these festivals, they're very exciting. And we had a rollicking set, good audience, and I got a bit excited and carried away. And then just sort of woke up bleary-eyed the next morning and went and found some fatty food to put in my body and moseyed about, and then went, oh, I was supposed to meet Mark an hour ago. And then I had to call you and profusely apologise.
Yeah, I think I remember, if I remember rightly, the second day of that festival was really hot and sunny. And I had no shade where I was out on that little green. So I was secretly like a little bit pleased to get away a little bit earlier than I thought I was going to initially.
It's a no-show. He was supposed to be here 10 minutes ago. We're going.
I try not to drink too much alcohol when I'm interviewing people because, it's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Even at a music festival. But I was choking for a beer. Do you know what I mean? I was just it's not coming on. I'm just going to chip off then. Yeah. So
no, nice work.
Mate, no worries at all. No worries at all. So the last time I saw you play was Blues at Bridgetown this year. How was that? The Karmalama. Yeah. How was that for you?
Cool little venue.
Yeah, great venue.
Yeah, we're going to be back there 25th of July. We're playing Karmalama again.
No, it's a great crew down there. If that was my venue, I'd be worried about having the records out. Do you know what I mean? I was so surprised that all the records were still out and the place was heaving, obviously.
Sneaking past and lifting a record.
Or just like someone knocks a beer over or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Yeah. I couldn't believe he still had all the records out in there.
It's, aesthetic. It looks beautiful, but spooky. I'm scared enough having my pedals like too far to the front of the stage.
All right. So Angels, the song that we heard at the top of the show, mate. It's your latest single. Talk to us about that and your sort of your inspiration and songwriting inspirations for that track.
I think the inspiration for Angels was mostly around the sort of the melodic like guitar picking that goes through that whole song. I'm a massive fan of the band The National from the States, and their guitarists are two brothers, Bryce and Aaron Desner. They have like classical music influences and then rock influences, and they end up with these beautiful melodies where the guitars are sort of singing to each other. And so I wanted it to have some re-listen value, and so you listen again and again, and there's all these tiny little parts that kind of poke out to you. And then the themes of the song. I think the themes of the song popped out of like some journaling I was doing when I was in this huge fight with my ex-girlfriend at some point. And it was just like one phrase. I think it was whatever's in your head, I don't need to know it. And it's about those, I suppose that was the that was the small moment that sort of grew into the rest of the song. I feel like people say things that become irredeemable or that they can't take back,
Just going back to The National quickly, one of my favourite bands ever. They are consistently in my Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, incredible.
Top 5.
Me too.
Did you see him at Kings Park?
I did. Yeah, I went with my dad.
I'm not going to go in it because I've mentioned it more than enough times on the show, but due to circumstances outside of my control, I had tickets, and then the week of the show, I couldn't go.
Oh, that's devastating.
And I couldn't listen to them for 6 months. That's how upset I was about it.
Reminds me of my most recent heartache.
I can't even talk. It's even hard for me to say to you, did you go? And you tell me how good it was.
Oh, yeah, I went, and it was
and then I think just recently, Matt Berninger toured solo, but he didn't come to Perth. He just did the Eastern States. So that's a little bit annoying. But hopefully, that was a couple of years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago. So fingers crossed. They're probably due another record. Again. But the problem, like you were saying, with the Desner brothers, like he does so much with Taylor Swift now and like other stuff. Like they're so busy, and Matt Berninger's got solo stuff. Like it must be so hard for them to all get together in a room and write songs for an album.
I don't understand how they do it. They're scoring films with alongside Nick Cave. Yeah. They're doing the Taylor Swift thing. Also, like one of the biggest artists in the world.
Set for Life now, publishing.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. You're laughing.
Yeah.
See you later.
Absolutely laughing. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to pull up the quickfire 5 questions because I can't remember because they change a little bit from time to time. While I do that, upcoming shows, Finn, what you got in the pipeline?
We've got a we got a lot that we can't talk about at the moment. We got a lot of embargoed stuff
We like
that hasn't been announced. But there's some exciting stuff there that we look forward to telling you about on our socials or something at some point. But we're doing a lot of WA touring over the next month or two. The next show is in Albany on the 3rd of July for their Maritime Festival with Ghost Care. So that'll be cool.
Friends of the show, Ghost Kid.
Yeah,
lovely crew. Yeah.
Friends of the band as well. Friends of the band. And then we're playing 25th at Kamalama, Bridgetown. Elise, can you yell me some more dates? Elise has been our booking angel recently. So
every band needs that person. All right, while Elise is doing that then, you're going to play an acoustic track for us, Finn?
Yes.
All right, okay. What's the first one you're going to do for us, mate?
First one is called Sparkly.
Excellent. Whenever you're ready, take it away, mate.
You're listening to the Mixtape on Radio Fremantle.
Okay, so exciting stuff coming up for you in the pipeline, Finn. What you got going on, mate?
Yeah, our next show is Bloomfest at the Bird, which is like an industry showcase that I think it's the second year that they've done that. So that's exciting. They fly a bunch of music industry delegates over from the East Coast.
Yeah.
We're a bit starved for that sort of national exposure sometimes in Perth. So it's a really good opportunity to kind of put our show in front of people who might be able to open some doors, you know.
And what else you got apart from that, mate?
What have we got? We've got Albany, July 3rd for the Maritime Festival. We've got Cabin Fever Festival down in Bustleton on the 18th of July. And then we're launching a single at Wyola, which is a new venue in Fremantle, on the 24th of July.
Fantastic. And if anyone wants to catch you on the socials, mate, what is your social media handle? Where can people find you and give you a follow, mate?
The Forever Party Official on Instagram, because someone stole the Forever Party. I tried to get it. They wouldn't give it to us.
What's the process for that? Because I'm always interested in that. Do you reach out to them and say, oh, are you using this? Like, can we have it? Or like, how did you go about that?
I think I sent them a DM and just went, hey, because they had like 5 followers and hadn't posted ever.
Yeah,
so I was like, hey, can we have that? And that, dead air. That's fine.
Let's do the quick 5-5, mate.
Let's do it.
What was the first album you ever bought?
I was like 11 at the Settlers Tavern with my parents, and I bought Karis Thompson's CD, and he signed it for me.
Fantastic. Love the Settlers. Great venue. Do you have a pre-show ritual?
Not really. It's usually a lot of nervousness, some cigarettes, and then we write a set list, I suppose. Rum and Coke, maybe. Rum and Coke is my pre-show ritual. Bit of courage.
What is your favourite Perth or WA venue?
I think it has to be Mojo's. I played so many times at Mojo's.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of formative shows. We've had a lot of great supports.
Very, very common answer. Any on-stage disasters?
Not really involving me. I mean, I've had a couple of like lyrical disasters where lyrics just fall out of my brain, and I've sung them a million times. It's very odd. But Rory, our drummer, we played Freo Winter Music Festival, which is coming up again soon. Get tickets to that. 2 or 3 years ago. And he'd just got prescribed a bunch of antibiotics, and he was on stage, and he was sort of looking at me in this panicked way while he was on stage, and I wasn't quite sure what he was doing. And we're playing the show, so I'm just kind of playing the show. And then I got to him afterwards, and he's just rushed off the stage. And then I spoke to him in the green room afterwards, and the antibiotics had some sort of effect, and he thought he was going to shit himself for 30 minutes on stage. So that's my favourite on-stage disaster from us. You'll love that I've told that to everyone.
And finally, if you could time travel to any concert in history, which concert would you choose?
I was struggling with this because there's so many good concerts, but I think, and I've seen Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds a handful of times, but I would have loved to have seen them in England when they were like coming up in the 80s and 90s. I think that would have been an incredible time to see that band. Maybe even with the birthday party. So many great stories of that band.
Great choices, mate. All right, you're going to do another acoustic track for us. What are you going to do?
This one is called Daniel.
All right, whenever you're ready, mate, take it away.
Don't touch that dial. You're listening to The Mixtape.
That was Daniel, acoustic version recorded especially for the mixtape. Right, Finn, we're going to drop into your mixtape track choices now, mate. So track 1 of your mixtape is an attention grabber. What did you go with there, mate?
So I've approached this from like recent listens that have popped into my head. There's a song called The Look by Metronomy, and it's like the perfect mix. It's the perfect arrangement. And as a musician, that stands out to me because so often there's like so much extra shit going on in a song that we don't need. Yeah. And that feels to me like something I'm trying to get better at. And I listen to that song and I'm like, that's perfect.
Whereabouts are they from?
I couldn't tell you. England is my guess.
Okay. All right. Track 2, Finn. What's a song you sing loud and proud when you're on your own in the car or the shower, mate?
My go-to for that is Pink Rabbits by The National. I feel like it's got this sad, nostalgic sort of thing going on, but then it makes me happy. Sad songs make me very happy.
Same. I've had that conversation with a lot of people. I used to get a lot of stick from certain people in my life for listening to the Smiths and, you know, stuff like that, and certain songs on The National, and, you know, a bit sort of, you know, I think his voice just doesn't lend itself to uplifting sort of music, does it? But I always used to say it makes me feel better because you relate to the sadness. Do you know what I mean? Especially lyrically, like if you relate to sad lyrics, you should be less alone. That's what I always used to get out of it. It used to make me feel better.
Absolutely.
For that reason. It's not, I don't listen to sad music to make myself feel worse. No. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I just relate to it and it makes me feel better for that reason, yes.
I work, when I'm not doing music, I work out in the desert with different Aboriginal groups. Yeah. And some of the fellas I work with, they'll jump in the car with me. And I used to placate and let people play whatever they wanted, and then I discovered that everyone has music tastes that I hate. So I just play my playlist now. Yeah. But I sit in the car and the fellas give me so much shit for how sad the songs are I like. And then I finally hand over the aux cord and these fellas played Stadium Country to me and it breaks my heart every time.
Track 3, Finn, what's your favourite cover version?
My favourite cover version, I can't get past Johnny Cash, Hurt. I think it's like, it does that beautiful thing where it completely recontextualizes the cover. Yeah. And then it's like that whole album that he did, I don't even know what it's called.
American Recordings.
I think
that was 4 or 5. He did a whole series. I think Hurt's from number 4, I think. Yeah.
But that was the one where he was on his last legs, hey?
Yeah.
And that song is shifted from this song that a young 9 Inch Nails wrote.
Yeah.
And turned into this beautiful ballad that like kind of tells the story of a life on at its end, you know, and the emotion in his voice is stunning,
sensational.
I can't go past it.
You're in incredibly good company there. I'm trying to think. That is the most chosen track in that category.
It is.
By miles.
For good reason.
Quite often people say, you know, I want to say "Hurt" by Johnny Cash, but I'm sure everybody says that. So this is my other than that. This is my pick. You know what I mean? But Ash Grunwald chose that. Yeah, loads of people. I'm trying to remember now who else has chosen it, but loads of people have chosen it. But that was a Rick Rubin session. And I always think that like Rick Rubin was largely responsible for that series of albums in terms of suggesting songs, and it was him who suggested like Johnny Cash do that. I was literally 2 minutes before I left the house, I was watching a reel of Rick Rubin working with Jay-Z in the studio, and Rick Rubin for me is just he's my number one dream guest. Like to get on the show, like I would love to sit down and chat with him.
He's such a sage, and the way he talks about music is so not how anyone else talks about music. Like he's almost like a guru figure, isn't
100%.
I bought that book, The Creative Act of Being, by Rick Rubin, at a time where I was very pragmatic with like what I was doing musically, and I was just trying to get stuff done. And I opened the first page and was sort of like, what is this? It's like guidance from a monk. Yeah. And at the time, I really sort of just I went, I need practical advice. I'm not reading this right now.
Yeah.
But then recently, I've been opening it up, and it's just like this beautiful philosophy of how to like manage or survive a creative career, I think.
Yeah.
And then how to sort of drag the best out of yourself creatively when it's so busy with other shit that you don't really want to be doing.
Yeah. Track 4, Finn. What's a song you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self?
I had I Love You by Fontaines D.C. That was my answer to that one. It's such a good song in the way that the first 10 times I listened to that song, it felt like a love song. And then I finally did the like whole lyric Google and deep dived on the lyrics and got this context out of the song because they're from Dublin. They sing a lot about Ireland and Irish politics, and discovered along the way that song is sort of this love letter to Ireland, but in a way where it's like there's love and there's hate. And I listened to that 5 times a day for 2 months after I discovered that song, you know? And I think as a young songwriter, I was missing, it was very like, I was just writing, here's the song, this is what it's about. good luck dragging a deeper meaning out of it. And that is such a lesson in like deep. Meaning.
Yeah, I think for a love song, like for what, on the surface is a love song, his voice on that, there is such an element of melancholy and sadness in his voice when you listen to that track. I love Fontaines D.C, they're one of my favourite bands.
So catchy for what the song is about as well. Like it should be a Billy Bragg song or something, how political it is.
100%.
But it's this catchy indie rock banger.
Did you see him at Red Hill when they were here last year or the year before?
This is my version of what you were talking about earlier. Yeah, I missed it. I didn't even listen.
It was brilliant. It was amazing.
I didn't even listen to Fontaine. I think because so many people were on the Fontaines bandwagon, and I'm doing some whole in my head. I'm doing some contrarian thing like, oh, I'm not listening to that young generation band that everyone's talking about. And then I listened to them a month after they came, and I went, fuck. They're really good.
Yeah, they were amazing. The Wonder Horse was supposed to support on that tour, but they didn't, and they pulled it last minute. And then I later saw Wonder Horse at Freo Social. They're not a support band for anybody, mate. They're so good. Like, there's no way they would have been so wasted on that tour. All right, track 5, Finn, Love Song for a Romantic Interest. What did you pick for that, mate?
I picked I Love You Honey Bear by Father John Misty. It's such a weird love song. I think one of the lyrics at the start of that song is mascara, blood, ash, and cum on the Rorschach sheets where we make love. And it's like, it's icky, but it's kind of sexy, but it's like, he obviously is deeply in love with his character or this figure that he's talking about in this song. I think it's so much more an accurate depiction of what love actually is than most modern pop songs.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love Father John Misty. He gets picked quite a bit on the shows. Regularly pops up. Have you ever done that, Finn? You're probably a bit too young for that sort of generation of like making up a mixtape or a playlist or a compilation to let someone know you like Keen.
No, I was still there. High school, primary school, early high school, I made mixtapes for my romantic interests. I remember changing. Good. I think that's where a lot of my musical taste developed, because the girl I was trying to woo back then had far better musical taste than me. So that rubbed off in a good way.
And finally for your mixtape, mate, track 6, Deep Cut, album track or B-side?
Deep Cut. I don't know how much this is a deep cut for this band, but I think a lot of people won't have heard it, maybe. A Tale They Won't Believe by Weddings, Parties, Anything. Weddings, Parties, Anything, if you haven't heard them, we're an Australian band out of the 80s and 90s. And they write a song about this penal escape of convicts from a colony in Tasmania. And they try and get through the forest away from the authorities. And they run out of food and they can't find anything. And they eat each other one by one until they're all gone. But the song is like this full of life, just like blaring balls to the wall, kind of folk rock thing. Violins going mad and like kind of scrambling drum beats. It's really good.
Finn, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you on the show. Thanks so much for making the time and coming on. I'm looking forward to your shows coming up, The Bird and all that other good stuff. Just shout out your socials again. Where can people catch up with you?
You can find us at The Forever Party on Spotify and Facebook, and The Forever Party Official on Instagram.
Excellent. Thanks so much, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Cheers, Mark.